first time I've ever done anything like this. This is a thought, been bubbling and percolating in my chest, gestating, finally needs relating. This is a rhyme with a little bit of reason been in the back of my mind for half this season. This is a cry to finally see why a certain game has such a grip on me. This is a knot I've got to untwist. This is a shout, and it goes like this. Many long years we frequented this fine establishment, dating right well back to before the refurbishment. For the VJs, the DJs, the neon signs, before the soft lights, open mic nights, and vintage wines. Before there was somewhere to check your hat, before you looked out of place with a baseball bat. So what brought us here to this funny old pub? Because I can assure you it certainly wasn't the grub. Listen closely now, listen closely in here while we've still been hanging all of these years. I've got a little secret to share about a place nearby of which you may not be aware. You just won't believe it, it might shock you to hear it, to find all this time you've been so damn near, but I will try and explain though it might be all in vain. Try my best to make it plain, that's my frustrated refrain. So here's my big news, and please don't think I'm insane. Hey! But it just so happens that paradise is just up Green Lanes. It's a field of dreams, it's a Shangri-La, it's a Garden of Eden. You think I'd go too far? Well, if you could drop by on a weekday night, perhaps I'd have a chance to put you right.
Monday night.
Monday night. If you could see the wonders, the choreographed display, the sights and sounds of grown adults at play, the howitzer blast of a battle sharp swing, whipping around like an uncoiling spring, or a runner sliding like a fighter jet, approaching to land on a carrier deck. Or if you could lay your eyes on a ground ball hit like a rocket, moving so fast across the infield grass that no force on earth could stop it. It's like a flat, shiny rock that can barely awake as it skips across the mirrored surface of a calm summer lake. Then like a fish caught in a net, or a hawk trapping a dove, it gets snared in the webbing of a shortstop's glove. Before he or she gets set, ready to unload, then whips it across another perfect throw. Smack! What do you think of that? Tinkers to Everest to chance, it's a majestic dance, choreographed without a script, spinning its own internal logic, executed like clockwork, like a military maneuver, but with the aesthetic delights of a patent maneuver. And after all these machinations with bat and glove and ball, we always come for a pint or two from this hallowed wall. But am I being clear? Can you get what gets us about this curious pastime? Do you understand the fuss? I will try and explain again, though it might be in vain. Try my best to make it plain, my frustrated, endless refrain. Perhaps I should reach out to you with some of the terminology, the linguistical jewels of our homegrown phraseology. Because baseball and softball share a common lexicon, whether you're Greek, or British, or Canadian, or Mexican. But perhaps you'd laugh if I mentioned speed plays, or I tried to explain about swinging both ways, about laying down bunts, or retiring the side, or bang-bang plays, or shagging flies. Or if I was to mention bench-clearing brawls, or spanking a double, or bases on balls, or ball-more chops, or three-run dingers, or stealing home, or crazy free swingers, or the dexterous motion of underhand flips, the smooth coordination of quick double dips, or how overtime is called extra innings and the grapefruit league means new beginnings. Or if I was to tell of the perils awaiting any new batter beyond the intimidation of the infield chatter, the sinkers and sliders and doublers and spinners and other tricky pitchers for confounding the hitters, and the chin music a pitcher might toss high and tight to show who's boss. More than halfway through, guys.
That doesn't rhyme.
And I could open the door to so much more, the bleacher seats, the battery mates, the cutoff man, the big grand slam, the nasty foul tip, the clutch pitch hit, the quick comebackers, the little slow tappers, the sacrifice flies, the RBIs, the late relief, and oh, good grief, don't get me started on the lingo for the statistics, ERA, OBP, and all that sabermetrics. You'll probably just go ballistic, or you maybe go ballistic anyway. You probably still don't get what I'm waxing on about. Can I do it justice? I'm starting to have my doubts. Well, let me try again, try another way to explain, try my best to make it plain, to move back to that frustrated refrain. Perhaps it will help to understand the wide sense of appeal to tell you of other teams each week take in the field. The Voodoos will work their spell, Oblivion's bats will roar, the Richmond Swingers will seduce you, and the Meteors will roar, or soar. Not tonight. Well, you might be facing the Night Sliders, the Hampstead Heat, the London Tigers, Love Me Tender, LNZ, Raiders Blue, or Gold, or Green, or Red, the Russell Squares or Comets Black, and yet other names more dazzling than that. But this is OTT, what's up with this poem? I'm getting carried away, where the heck is it going? I need another way to spell it out, I need to be more lucid. The strange hold this game has on us is about something far more elusive. It's there in the frame of an airplane portal, a landscape cut into diamonds, somehow unmutable, immortal. It's in the dying violet embers of a late summer evening, the final bittersweet drops of a hard-fought season. The air thick with tension as a familiar foe sends up their top hitter and its all systems go. It's in the call to the fielders as silent bodies hunch forward like race jockeys waiting for starters' orders. It's in the freshly raked earth. The pitcher expectantly paused with the studs of his cleats before releasing the ball. And don't forget, for that perfect recipe, the sweat and the beer and the camaraderie. And yet, I still think I need to try and explain, try again, find another way to explain some final examples to make it plain in this, my frustrated refrain. Our team was founded a decade ago, and in that time we've managed to grow. But this has happened against the background of a topsy-turvy world of merry-go-round. There have been riots and bombs and all kinds of tensions and the largest economic downturn since the Great Depression. And against this backdrop of misery and war, of bleakness and depression we've somehow endured, it's as if we're in a bubble, a child's fragile bubble, rising gently through the sky, reflecting the kaleidoscope of rainbow colors as the rest of the world floats by. It's a simple game with bat and glove and ball. So simple a kid can play it. It doesn't take much at all. And yet so profound, so truly sublime, shaped and chiseled by the sands of time, passed on down through the ages, ever more rarefied at each of these stages. But it's just a game, you impatiently cry, rolling your eyes, expelling a sigh. Perhaps you've had enough, as I endlessly enthuse, shocked at my reverence for such a mysterious muse. Perhaps my appeals will be lost, you will think me a fool. What's with the socks, the hat, Oh man, this guy's a tool. We're just softball freaks trapped by a common affliction, caught in the seductive web of such a strange addiction. But open your hearts, my brothers and sisters, you poets, you beatniks, you aging hipsters. Ain't no reason we can't peacefully coexist unless there's something that I've somehow missed. Two urban subcultures coming together, high and low pressure will make our own weather. Let this sacred ground witness a meeting of the minds in this warped, fragmented world in these uncertain times. Okay, I'm finally done. Now you better clap because my homies are here with some baseball bats. Hang on, I take that back. Made a bad joke because it rhymes. I meant what I said. Let's have peace in our times.
Amen.
Simon!
Boys and girls, softball players, give it up for Simon Johnson!